Russian troops shelled residential buildings in Novodruzhsk and Rubizhne. Shelling in Avdiivka. 1 killed, 2 wounded as result of Russian shelling on Mykolaiv overnight. 5 people wounded as result of Russian shelling in Kharkiv. Prime Minister of Spain Pedro Sánchez and Danish PM Mette Frederiksen has arrived in Kyiv to meet President Zelensky. Russian Defense Minister Shoigu has reported to Putin that Russian forces have fully captured Mariupol, except of Azovstal. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez arrived Thursday morning with his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Kyiv, where they are both due to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the Spanish government announced. Russian FSB reports several Ukrainian citizens detained in Melitopol, an arsenal seized, including manpads, anti-tank mines and other ammunition. Putin ordered Shoigu to cancel assault on Azovstal and impose siege on it. Heavy shelling at Azovstal plant, also clashes reported at tram depot area in Mariupol. Big crater this morning in Lyman as result of Russian army shelling. Ukrainian army shot down Russian jet fighter near Izium, pilots ejected.
Красота, сбили, блядь. Горит, ой, красота. На, нахер. 2 парашюта!
Two missile hits in Zaporizhia, no casualties. Fighters from Syria and Libya were killed during clashes in Luhansk region, Secretary of NSDC of Ukraine Danilov. Russian tank with V marking was destroyed in Mariupol by Azov Regiment. PM Sanchez, moved to see the horror and atrocities of Putin's war on the streets of Borodyanka. We will not leave the Ukrainian people alone.
They were met with resistance from the Ukraine and terrorized the local population.
Але це нічого не було, дома повністю знищені ударами авіації.
And the same condition completely destroyed by the aviation, already under the occupation. But the invaders wouldn't let them approach.
Passenger train damaged as result of Russian shelling in Zaporizhia. Ukraine Vice PM, 19 people, including 9 civilians, were released from Russian captivity in a prisoner's swap. 2 Russian Su-jets were shot down today near Izium, Kharkiv region. Ka-52 helicopter near Pavlivka and Mi-8 helicopter near Malinivka village in Zaporizhia region. Ukrainian Parliament Verkhovna Rada has extended martial law until the 25th of May. Russian Su-25 jet was shot down in Donetsk region with Stinger manpads. Ukrainian military shot down Orlan-10 drone in Donetsk region with Starstreak manpads. Explosions again at Saltivka in Kharkiv. Cache of ammunition was found in Kryvyi Rih. Spain has shipped 200 tons of military material, including heavy transport vehicles, to Ukraine, Spanish PM, AFP. Suspicious man was detained in Kyiv by police. Weapons and ammunition seized. Biden, Russia's atrocities outside of Ukraine's capital of Kyiv provide horrifying evidence of Russian brutality. Biden, Russian forces are committing war crimes in Ukraine. Biden, we sent drones, helicopters and radar systems to Ukraine. Biden, we will provide drones and anti-tank and anti-aircraft weapons to Ukraine. At POTUSCs, a critical window where Russia will set the stage for the next phase of this war. Biden, we will provide Ukraine with more weapons and equipment. Biden said he has almost exhausted the drawdown authority from Congress for Ukraine. Next week, I'm going to have to be sending to Congress a supplemental budget request to keep weapons and ammunition flowing without interruption. U.S. President, we are facilitating the transfer of military equipment from allies across the world to Ukraine. U.S. President Biden announces new $800 million military aid package for Ukraine. President Biden says no ship that sails under the Russian flag or that is owned or operated by a Russian interest will be allowed to dock in a United States port or access our shores, none. President Biden said it is questionable whether Russia controls Ukraine's besieged city of Mariupol. There is no evidence yet that Mariupol has completely fallen. Putin will never succeed in occupying, dominating all of Ukraine, Biden says. After weeks of shelling Kyiv, Kyiv still stands, says Biden, and Zelensky's government remains in control. Putin was counting on NATO, EU, Western resolve, cracking, he says, he's still banking on that. Once again we're going to prove him wrong, Biden says. Rare footage from Zaporizhzhia Oblast today showing a Russian Ka-52 attack helicopter taken out by a Ukrainian 9K-38 Igla manpads. Pentagon says new $800 million military aid package for Ukraine will include 72,155 mm howitzers and 144,000 artillery rounds, 72 tactical vehicles to tow 155 mm howitzers, more than 121 Phoenix Ghost tactical unmanned aerial systems, field equipment and spare parts. Readout from the White House of POTUS meeting today with @Dennis_Schmile. Russian troops shelled Udy village in Zolochiv district of Kharkiv region. Biden said the U.S. is sharing timely intel with Ukraine to help them defend against Russia, and helping facilitate transfer of weapons aid from other countries, like S-300 anti-aircraft missile systems. We are getting them in there, he told us. He called Russia's war an outrage.
All Ukrainian children have been displaced from their home. More than 5 million Ukrainians have fled their country. It's an absolute outrage. The idea this is happening, approaching the second quarter of the 21st century, is just bad. Last month when I was in Europe,
Reports of explosions in Dnipropetrovsk region near Novomoskossk. Ukraine has more tanks available in country than Russia, thanks to European deliveries of Soviet-era T-72 tanks, senior defense official. U.S. has no tanks to give Ukraine because Ukraine military is using Soviet-era equipment. 2 civilians killed as result of Russian shelling at Kievsky district of Kharkiv. Mariupol officials said today they found a mass grave where Russian forces were burying bodies. They said it was an attempt to hide evidence of war crimes. Images from at Maxar appears to show around 200 new graves were dug between March 23 and April 3. Secretary Antony Blinken, I spoke with at Prime Minister Gr Mitsotakis about the significant aid at NATO ally Greece has provided to Ukraine, and other ways to help Ukraine defend itself against Moscow's brutal war of aggression. The U.S.-Greece relationship has never been stronger or more important. Ukrainian military seized Orlan-10 drone. Russian army shelled Orlovshchina railway station in Dnipropetrovsk region. Russian troops detained head of Novovorontskivka community during civilian evacuation attempt. Explosions reported in Kropivnitsky. 8 people wounded as result of Russian missile strikes in Zaporizhia. Loud explosions audible in Mykolaiv after missile launches from Kherson. 2 Russian missiles targeted near a bridge in Zaporizhia, damaging train and Korotsia Island, damaging a building. Total 8 people wounded. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will host Ukraine-focused defense talks with allies at Ramstein Air Base in Germany on April 26, the Pentagon says.